welcome to B.I.V.I.P. I am the notorious B.I.V., and you are my lovely VIPs for the next little while here. Thank you so much for showing up. And so I've been wanting to do this video for like about a week now. I did, my boy Tony and I went and saw Top Gun Maverick. And before we review that though, I wanted to you gotta know my history with the original Top Gun, okay? So, I saw the movie one time only, in the theater, back in the day. And that's the only time I've ever seen the movie. I wasn't a huge fan. Basically though, so here's the deal, right? So, I was an awkward 16-year-old, sweet 16, baby. I was sweet 16, never kissed a girl. I'm a bit of a late bloomer, just so you know. So at 16 years old, never kissed a girl, and didn't really know, what dating and all that stuff was all about, really. But when I was a kid, when I was in 6th grade, the middle of my 6th grade year, right? When you're like the king of grade school, right? You're the kings. Me and my friends, we were the kings. We were running that. You know what I'm saying? And so right in the middle of my 6th grade year, I'm king, and then my parents like uproot us and move us to another county, and I'm like back to square one. You know what I mean? Like now I went from hero to zero. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh my gosh. So I had to start all the way over again. So by the time I made it back to, and by the time I'm in high school now, right, 16 years old, I've been climbing that social ladder. I'm finally like kind of in with the cool kids, right? I'm in with the in crowd, and my junior year's about to start, and I'm hanging with the cool crowd, and there's this girl in the cool crowd, and she's one of the popular girls, and back in high school, like the popular girls weren't necessarily like the hottest girls. They were just everyone wanted them because they were popular, right? It's like they were popular, so you liked that girl, right? Kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And that was the case with this girl. Like she was one of the popular girls, and she was showing some interest in me. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. Like everything's lining up here. Like I'm gonna have an amazing junior year, and then an amazing senior year, and like things were just like pointed in the right direction. So I'm like, so homecoming's coming up, right? I'm like, I'm gonna ask this girl to homecoming. It's gonna be perfect. So I ask her. She accepts. We go to the homecoming dance, and we doubled with a friend of mine. And he had kind of a steady girlfriend, and I'm with my girl in the back seat, and my friend's driving us around. And at the end of the night, my idiot friend, in hindsight, I think in his mind, what happened here was like he and his girlfriend and my girl like live like up the hill a ways, like kind of in the same general area, right? And I'm down here, I don't live near them exactly. So what ends up happening is my friend like takes me home first before anyone else, right? And I think he's thinking, oh, I'll drop off Brandon, and then, did I say Brandon? I meant the notorious B.I.V. So I'll drop him off, and then I'll like drive, we'll drive up the hill, and I'll drop everyone else off, right? But so he drops me off first, which then leads to this awkward situation where it's like, right? Like normally we'd take her home first. I'd walk her to the door. We'd have our little private moment there. We could say goodbye, hey, whatever, and that'd be great. But instead, he pulls up in front of my house, and we're in my driveway, and it's like, okay, what now? So I'm saying goodbye to this girl in the back seat, while they're both in the front seat, pretending like not to notice or whatever, And I'm just like, So, you know, so the date went well, and like whatever, and I'm like, oh, I guess, guess I kiss her, right? So, so we're in the back seat, and I'm like, okay, bye, and like, we kiss and trying to hug in the back seat, and then, I get out, whatever. It was awkward. My first kiss, my very first kiss, feels like the first time. Actually, I hope nothing ever feels like the first time, my first kiss, because that just wasn't like, it wasn't the greatest experience ever. But whatever, it happened, and so that was it. And this is all leading up to Top Gun. Just stick with me here. So so then over the next couple of weeks, I'm like, I see her in the hall and stuff every now and then. I'm kind of trying to trying to dodge her and stuff, because I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, well, what do you do? Like, what do I do with a girlfriend? I don't know, like, I'm not, I have no idea what to do with a girlfriend. Like I said, I'm a late bloomer. This is my first, like, you know, dating experience, kind of, and I'm just like, so, and I was just kind of like hoping that everything would go away, right? Kind of, but it didn't. And I didn't have any classes with this girl, which is a good thing. Like, so I didn't really have any classes with her, but I'd see her every now and then, and hi, how's it going? Whatever. And of course, like, we're both in the in group, right? We're both in the hanging with the cool kids, so I'd see her occasionally there, and so anyway, it was just awkward. And then, so after a couple weeks, finally, I'm just like, okay, I got to do something. I guess I got to ask her out again, right? Like, I guess that's what you do next. Um, and so, and I don't know if I can't remember if I called her up or just talked to her in the hall or whatever. I'm like, hey, let's go out Friday or whatever. And she's like, sure. So, um, maybe did I even? I don't know if I even. Maybe I didn't even do it in advance. Maybe I just called her up like the day of or something. Was like, hey, you want to go out tonight or something? I don't know. It was like, it was awkward. But so we went out. Okay, our second date, we go out, and I didn't even have anything planned. I just like pick her up in my parents' car, and we're driving around like, hey, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? And I didn't even take her out to eat. Like, we didn't even we didn't even go to dinner. We didn't do anything. We just like, I was like, oh, we could see a movie. She's like, oh yeah, we could see a movie. So so we drive by our local theater, and back in the day, like, you didn't have like the megaplex or whatever, right? You didn't have. I mean, I think those existed, but they were like one here, one there, like one in the like your main city or something. Like, they weren't like a big. They weren't everywhere like they are now. So your town had like a local theater and mine was called the Queen Theater, and and that local theater had like, May, maybe it had two screens, but I'm pretty sure it only had one. I'm pretty sure it only had one screen, and like, so there was just one movie playing, and it was Top Gun, right? And so she and I are like, oh, let's go see Top Gun, and it was, it was like the popular movie at the time for sure. Um, I remember all the girls loved Tom Cruise and whatever, and I wasn't a huge Tom Cruise fan because like he was at that point in time, he was like he was kind of typecast, I think, by Hollywood as like the cool, cocky, whatever guy, right? And those are the roles he played. So like, what was he in? He was in, Risky Business. I think was his big breakout role. He was in Risky Business. He was in All the Right Moves. He was in Top Gun, and he just played that kind of cocky, cool guy. And I didn't like that. I wasn't into that. I thought he was kind of a, I thought he was kind of a dork. But so we go and see Top Gun, and I remember like like the love scene or whatever. That was like really embarrassing for me. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm here with this girl, and and because they were like, I remember like it was all kind of in shadow or whatever, but like it was like all this like tongue kissing, and like I think you saw like her boob, sort of, but like in shadow, you know what I mean? But like you could see like the outline of her boob and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I was really embarrassed, and it was really awkward, and so I took the girl home, and I kissed her again, and from there I just kind of let things. I don't think I ever even broke up with her really. I just kind of like let things go, let things slide after that, and that was it. Um, but so I didn't have like so I didn't have incredibly fond memories of Top Gun to begin with, right? Um, just because that was my experience with Top Gun. I didn't love the movie. I've never I've never looked back on it with fondness or any kind of nostalgia or anything. And when I heard they were doing a remake, I was like, oh, that's or not a remake, but like a sequel, right? I'm just like, that's dumb. I don't need to see that, right? And but I should say, like I do like Tom Cruise now. Like he's been able to like kind of break out of the box that Hollywood had him in, and he's actually a really good actor. And I've enjoyed him in a lot of different movies recently. But I just didn't really feel like seeing Top Gun. But then Top Gun Maverick, I should say. But then I saw a preview for it, and I saw Miles, what's his name? Miles Teller, is that his name? As Rooster, as Goose's son, right? And and he and when I saw him as Goose's son, I was like, oh, that's where they're going with this, and that actually piqued my interest because he looks like he could totally be that guy's son. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, that could actually be kind of interesting, like that's an interesting plot point, it's Tom Cruise and his buddy's son who, and they have a conflict and whatever, so I actually was excited to see the movie, um, and I did see it about a week ago, and I will give you my review as soon as friggin' Tony shows up. I don't know where he is, but one of one of these days here soon, I will review Top Gun Maverick, baby. And I have a little bit of a different take on it than most of you, most people that I'm seeing here. But again, I just wanted to get this one out of the way because I wanted you to know like kind of my history with the original Top Gun movie. And now I'll give you my review for Top Gun Maverick in the next video, baby. Thanks for listening. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, yeah.